One of the most beloved folk tales in Chinese history is set here, in the Jin dynasty. A dutiful daughter dresses up as a man and lives among a bunch of men for several years. A young祝英台convinces her family to let her attend classes dressed as a man. At school, she befriends her roommate, Liang Xiangbo. Gradually,祝英台falls in love with her friend, who doesn't realize she's a girl. While the story is not historical fact, it may, in fact, be historically plausible when we looked at the social climate of the 魏晋南北朝 period, sometimes called the Six Dynasties period. After the fall of the very Confucian Eastern Han Dynasty, the Six Dynasties period was characterized by unrest, disunity, and an overall disinclination to follow the tenets of Confucianism. A mixture of Taoism, Buddhism, and nomadic influence took its place. Under this diverse and chaotic environment, women were allowed slightly more freedom than before. Women from gentry families were sometimes able to study with their brothers under the tutors that their families employed. Lady Song, courtesy name Shun Wenjun, lived around the late 3rd century. She is sometimes referred to as the first lady scholar. She taught her son so well that he became the minister of ceremonies under the Emperor Fu Jian. Lady Song taught 120 students through a veil, because while it was permissible for an old lady to teach at this point, propriety still demanded some boundaries. Why then, if women were allowed to teach, did祝英台still have to dress as a man? The clothes of the Six Dynasties period were heavily influenced by the nomads, especially the Xianbei clan from the north, who established the Northern Wei dynasty. Their clothing was tighter and shorter, befitting their athletic lifestyles. They wore tunics with round necklines, trousers, and boots. What originated as nomadic menswear gradually spread to Han Chinese people of both genders, enduring in popularity even well into the Tang dynasty. Male and female clothing of this period was also remarkably similar in form, with both sexes frequently donning loose, cross-colored robes paired with wide trousers. The Shen-yi of yesteryear was largely relegated to women's wear, and became adorned with so many frivolous tassels that Confucius would have had a conniption. So it may seem that clothing was not as rigidly gendered as we may have thought. What did remain rather gendered, though, is the hair and its covering, or lack of it. Throughout much of Chinese history, boys underwent a capping ceremony at around age 20, after which they became adults and could marry. There were elaborate royal decrees denoting the types of hats that should be worn at different functions. Women underwent the hairpin ceremony at around age 15, after which they piled their long hair up in chignons. Seldom did they wear hats like the men did. Apart from祝英台, who else also cross-dressed as a man? The Ballad of Mulan is generally thought to be written in the Northern Wei dynasty. It tells the story of a young woman who takes her father's place and conscripts herself in the army. You may have noticed that many of these details diverge from the popular retellings. First of all, she did not cut off her hair with a sword. She likely did not have to cut her hair at all, since men also wore their hair long. The other differences are, of course, that she does not fall in love with the general and she does not have a talking miniature dragon sidekick. In the original Ballad, she does not have the surname of Hua. It is extremely likely that she was Xianbei, who did not have Sinicized Chinese family names at first. The assumption that Mulan was Xianbei neatly answers several questions. While Han Chinese women did engage in horseback riding, the existence of Xianbei women warriors was much better documented. Contemporaneous 乐府 poems feature warlike women. 李波小妹歌 depicts Li Xiaomei shooting arrows left and right as she gallops on her horse. However, the Ballad of Mulan ends in a noteworthy way. Once home, Mulan sheds her tabard, combs her hair, and returns to her role as dutiful daughter and, we assume, wife. These items of dress signify her return into the domestic fold and prescribed roles of women, restoring the status quo. So, would we say that the Six Dynasties were particularly progressive? It's hard to say. What we can be sure of is the incredible set of circumstances in this unlikely period of time: the fall of Confucianism, rise of Buddhism, Taoism, and the cultural exchange with nomadic peoples. All converged to give the women of the Six Dynasties unique stories that transcend the centuries and resonate with us to this day. Perhaps祝英台and Mulan would be pleased that now more women than ever are able to access schooling and fulfill their ambitions without the need for cross-dressing. And perhaps the notion that clothing is inherently gendered is not as unshakable a truth as some people think it is.